I just got home from my usual weekend errands, which means I went to the grocery store, went to the bookstore, and so this is not like a big grocery haul because this isn't my week where I do a lot. This is my week where I do a little. So like every other week I'll do like a big haul, or I buy a lot of groceries, and then in between I'll just get things to plug in for the meals that I have planned for that week. So I'm going to show you the things that I picked up, and then talk about the book that I got and the book that I'm currently reading. So I got some eggs because I finished the last of my eggs this morning. I get brown eggs. I got used to eating brown eggs in Asia and I just haven't gone back. I got a little ginger shot, which I'm about to do right now as soon as I finish this. Trader Joe's had a new item today. They had some tteokbokki, which is like spicy Korean rice cakes. So I'm really excited to make those and see if they're any good. I got some salmon. This is wild silver coho salmon, deboned and skinless, which is great because like skinning salmon is very hard for me. Another Kerrygold butter. This is not something I have to buy often. This lasts me like a long time. I got my juice of the week, which is going to be organic tea and lemonade, so like a little Arnold Palmer situation. I got one opal apple and one large avocado. Some non-dairy oat creamer. This is brown sugar. I'm really trying to take dairy out of like my coffee routine, at least when I make it at home. So I'm trying different ones. Like this past week I've been trying this, I think it's like French vanilla one. I think it's almond creamer. So we're exploring. I got another bag of the everything but the bagel chips, some roasted garlic chicken sausage, another packet of like pre-cut and seasoned Brussels sprouts. I do still season them a little bit, but the already being cut and prepped, it just takes less time because I can just throw them on the pan, add a little extra, and then pop them in the oven, which is great after a long day. I'm about to get into the gym and I want something like really quick. I got some ground beef because I want to make pasta, and some chicken legs, which I'll probably end up making for dinner tonight because it's real quick. So yeah, very short and sweet grocery haul. I went to the bookstore and I only bought one book. Can you believe it? The one book that I picked up, I went in there looking for two specific books. They had one, didn't have the other. I picked up like 10 and narrowed it down. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave with the one I came in here with because I'm trying to accumulate less books and read my physical TBR down a little bit as I'm getting ready to move. So I picked up Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malore. This is a literary fiction novel about this young woman who is an artist and this older man that she meets who kind of becomes her supporter. It says, for readers of modern lovers and conversation with friends, an addictive, humorous, and poignant novel about the shockwaves caused by one couple's impulsive marriage. 24-year-old British painter Cleo has escaped from England to New York and is still finding her place in the secret city when a few months before her student visa ends, she meets Frank. 20 years older and a self-made success, Frank's life is full of all the excesses Cleo lacks. He offers her the chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card. But their impulsive marriage irreversibly changes both of their lives and the lives of those close to them in ways they never could have predicted. Each compulsively readable chapter explores the lives of Cleo, Frank, and an unforgettable cast of their closest friends and family as they grow up and grow older. Whether it's Cleo's best friend struggling to embrace his gender queerness in the wake of Cleo's marriage, or Frank's financially dependent sister arranging sugar daddy dates to support herself after being cut off. Or Cleo and Frank themselves as they discover the trials of marriage and mental illness. Each character is as absorbing and painfully relatable as the last. As hilarious as it is heartbreaking, entertaining as it is deeply moving, Cleopatra and Frankenstein marks the entry of a brilliant and bold new talent. And the cover is intriguing. So that's that. And then I started a new book while I was out on my errands, one for my TBR. We got to see it. Y'all know I'm in my nonfiction era. I'm trying to read more nonfiction. My goal was 6. I've already hit that goal, and now I'm like averaging about 2 a month. And so I started Will by Will Smith. While I was out, got the audiobook. It came in from my library today, and I was like, that's literally perfect because I didn't have the different book earlier. And right now I am 145 pages into it, and I'm having such a really good time. It's so interesting seeing his life and the things that we see from the outside, but the things that also happened that impacted that, like him growing up in a somewhat abusive home environment, is what led to him being a comedian and having a stage presence, because his armor was comedy, and him being a people pleaser made him work so much harder to be able to make anyone laugh or smile in his different environments, from, you know, going to Catholic school to being in the hood, and like being able to navigate these different spaces, and how he opened these various doors because he was family friendly considered. And like how even just one conversation from his grandma, who saw his notebook where he had been writing down rhymes and he was cursing in the notebook, and she was like, you know, as intelligent as you are, you have enough words to communicate yourself and your thoughts without cursing. And just after that one little note, she didn't say anything to him, she wrote a note in his notebook, he never cursed in his music. And so like getting these little stories, and starting out when he was a young child, and these things that impacted him and that have shown to still be true in 2022 with his life, is just so interesting. And we're talking about his relationship with women, and where we are in the story right now, he's finally got a little bit of money, he just bought his first mansion, he's been on tour, he's doing this and doing that, and watching how he still struggles with these insecurities and these things that still rear up from his childhood is very interesting. I'm having a really good time. I highly recommend the audiobook. Obviously it's narrated by him, and so he just brings so much personality to it. The audiobook production is really good, because you also have like music samples, and like he'll rap, or like if he's like narrating a time, he'll include like the music and the vibes that fit that moment. So far I'm having a really good time. So this is like 400 pages, so I'm 35% in according to the audiobook, and I just looked through like some of the pictures, and this is like, these are his parents before they made him apparently, and like things that I've seen. We haven't gotten to more modern like time when I would have been alive and aware, but I'm enjoying going along the way, because then we talk about like music and like the creation and formation of hip-hop and the first Grammys and like all these things, and I'm like, these are monumental firsts, and what's normal and common to me, and how big of a part of hip-hop and rap play into like both my life and like general pop culture, and how like this is something that was not a thing at the beginning of the story and has been created, and he contributed to the creation of a literal genre of music, a type of cultural element. Like, it's crazy. So I'm having a really good time with Will. I will schedule a live show soon, probably before this comes out, maybe after. This is the May reading blog, where I'm just going to be discussing the last couple of nonfiction that I've read that were the like not a book club picks. So yeah, I'm about to put my groceries up, drink my juice shot, and have a snack before I like start prepping dinner and getting ready to have a successful work week. So this is a check-in. I'll talk to you later when I have another update. Bye. Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. I'm very late for work. I was supposed to be at work 17 minutes ago, and I haven't left the house yet. But I decided this morning, I was like, you know what? I'll give up. I'm not gonna be on time today. And it's not even because I overslept. I work on my usual time. But my meds have changed, so I haven't had like a good night's sleep in like over a month. And then yesterday I finally decided to like change up my routine myself and go back to my usual. But I also still took some melatonin, which is the only thing that's been helping me sleep just a couple hours. But because I went back to my usual routine with my meds and then I took melatonin, it was just very hard for me to get up this morning. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna be late, but I might as well take my time. I got up, I watched some videos, I made breakfast, I did the dishes. I'm just like, I'm already gonna be late, so just might as well just lean into it. Which is why I'm giving you an update now, because I'm already late. What does it matter? So I have many things to talk to you about. I'll start with what we already discussed, which is Will. I am now 50% into Will. I'm on page 210. The next chapter, I'm about to start chapter 12, Desire, and I'm still having a really, really good time. Where I am chronologically, he is about to do his first movie, I want to say. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has really taken off. Actually, no, where I am, he just finished writing Summertime. And like how this ended up like changing his career and everything, and they were home based. That album had already been done, and this is like just like the perfect storm of events to happen to kind of make this go on. I'm really enjoying this. I highly recommend this memoir because it's such a cinematic experience, but it's also like really, really immersive, because it talks about things that like I was aware of, but like I was aware of the thing, but I didn't know the story behind the thing. So like one of the most like iconic scenes from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a scene with Will and Uncle Phil about like his dad, and him talking about that scene and doing that, and how he wasn't really an actor and he was working with these like world-class thespians, and how his experience and his classical knowledge or whatever, and his struggles with that, and it's just like getting to like seeing how he was in that moment. It's just really interesting. And like when they reference songs or scenes, like they actually played the clip, the audio from the scene, or they'll play the clip from the song or whatever, and like I'm stopping, and like when they were talking about Summertime and how he's like, I wrote the whole song in one go, and that's the only song I've ever written straight out and didn't change anything, even in the final product. And how his voice sounds so different because he had been partying the night before and he had been screaming, and then his flight got canceled, so he went to go record the song and he couldn't at his usual pitch, and so he was just like, I gotta do it like this. If I don't do it today, it won't make it on the album. And like how when it came out, it was like, wow, this is such a different tone for him. It's such this and this, and it's just so interesting getting the like behind the scenes of all the like things. So I'm really enjoying that. Plan to make more progress in this one today. And then this week, today's the 11th. This week is the historical romance readathon, so I decided to pick up Duke I Like to F, which is a historical romance anthology. This has 5 stories: The Chasing of Eleanor Vane by Sierra Simone, My Dirty Duke by Joanna Shute, An Education and Pleasure by Eva Lee, Duke for Hire by Nicola Davidson, and The Duke Makes Me Feel by Adriana Herrera. Prior to buying this, I had already read My Dirty Duke by Joanna Shute, which I loved, and then but she was the only author I had read from prior to starting this actual collection yesterday. I had recently read a different book by Eva Lee, which was one of Scott Tizena, I think, which I enjoyed. It was cool. So right now I've read My Dirty Duke, which I really liked. I probably reread it. And I read The Chasing of Eleanor Vane yesterday, and honestly I just don't think historical romance is Sierra Simone's lane, because it just, the writing didn't transport me and put me in the mind of a historical like it does. I think the premise was interesting. So we follow this girl who is like basically the most steady girl in all of England, and this boy who his uncle is the Duke, and his uncle doesn't have any children, and he's decided he's the heir, but he gets in a lot of trouble, and so his uncle's like, you know what, you got to get married, we got to get somebody to handle you and you know, can keep control of the estate and everything. So she gets drafted into this. She don't want to marry the man. She finds the uncle really attractive, the Duke, and then she's kind of enamored with the Duke, and he seems to kind of be interested in her as well. And but he's also the ruler of this second kingdom. I won't go more into this, what the second kingdom is. I'll let you find it out on your own should you choose to read it. It's not anything bad per se, but it's a novella, so I don't want to spoil or like give away too much. It just wasn't it. The guy was bi, which was cool. Apparently that's Sierra Simone's thing, but otherwise it was meh. So My Dirty Duke is seeming to be the favorite, which is the one I had already read. I'm now reading An Education and Pleasure. I'm like halfway through that one, and it's about this governess. She's 30, and the former Duke has passed away. His son, who's 21, comes, and it turns out he's always had a crush on her since he was like 16. And so in Education and Pleasure, she's gonna teach him like how to be with a woman, yada 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 yada. This first 20% of that one was very weak. Actually, I'm not 50% into it. I'm 20% into it. First 20% of it was kind of weak. It was just like, the writing isn't really doing it for me, but I'm gonna keep going. And then there's still A Duke for Her and Duke Makes Me Feel. So I'm reading this one. Cover's great. This one doesn't seem like it's gonna be staying on the shelves, although I would like to know who this man is. He's very handsome. And then because I've been proctoring exams at work, so like I don't have anything to do but sit there and read on my Kindle or sit there and read my book while that's happening. So the other thing that I started yesterday was Unsold by Will White. So I am 66 pages into this one, and I'm having a really good time. This is a self-pub fantasy series, the first book in the Cradle series by Will White. These are very short, and I think they're like 10 out right now. They're going to be either 12 or 13, and this is like one of the most popular self-published series. Like when the new books come out, it's literally #1 in the Kindle store. In this one we follow our character Will Lyndon, who is unsold. And in this society, like, everyone's soul aligns with one of 4 elements or like paths, let's say, and you do this test. You do this test when you're a child, when you're 7, I believe, between like, and you put your hand in this bowl of water. It's not water, it's like madra, which is like spirit aura, and the reaction of the aura, like the madra, determines where you go, whether you're an enforcer, a forager, etc. But nothing happens because he's unsold, and so he's living in this society and he's almost less than nothing, basically. And that's not gonna work for my man Lyndon. Lyndon is reminding me a lot of my favorite male characters like Tao and Darrow. He's a little I don't want to say he's stupid, but he's ruthless, and he's maybe not the most intelligent, but he's willing to risk it all, and I love that in a young man. So things are going well. It's very easy to read as well, and I love a good long series, and like, these are on KU as well, so at least I know at least there are 8 books after this that I can read right now if I wanted to, and they're not that long. This is all of 279 pages, so I'm having a good time with that. So those are the things that I'm currently reading. This is on my TBR, these are not, but I'm trying to, even when I read off my TBR, like for the month, my goal is right now is to read something that I own physically. So even if I'm like going all over the place, reading on my own physically. If like on KU, like I have plenty of KU books, not plenty, but I have KU books that I own physically. So like, I'm reading both of these on KU, but I own them. So the goal is to be reading books from my TBR and less books from my library that I don't already own, because I want to make progress, because I'm trying to get rid of some of these books before I move. So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm about to go to work, and I'm already 30 minutes late to work, and I haven't even left the house yet, and my commute is an hour. What is like, I should just stay home, shouldn't I? Okay, no, I'm gonna go to work. Okay, bye. Hi friends, happy Sunday. It is the 15th. We are long overdue for an update, because I've actually finished every single book that I talked to you about in the last update, which was on Wednesday. So let's go in order. Let's talk about Will first. So I finished Will, I want to say on Friday, and I absolutely love this book. Gave it 5 stars. I'm really, honestly, at this point, I just want volume 2, because this ends with his like 50th birthday, and like, you know, his journey through social media and getting on social media and working with YouTube and like really putting himself out there to the new generation and things like that. This book was just really, really good. It was very powerful. It was very vulnerable. I've gone and watched like YouTube videos about the writing of the book and sharing it with his friends, and it just opened up a lot of things. Like, I think sometimes people write memoirs and they don't even scratch the surface really of what's going on in their lives, or like what they're talking about, but he really got down and dirty and vulnerable and really just share a lot. And like, this makes me question some things about my own life, makes me want to think more about it, some things, and the reasoning why I do certain things. I also am like making a playlist of like the books, not the books, but the movies and TV shows and like appearances that I want to watch and albums I want to re-listen to and all that, to like get the full experience. I think that if you like memoirs, I think if you're a person who is a fan of Will Smith, either of those things, I think you'll really enjoy. This is very well done. The audiobook is narrated by him, and I highly recommend that experience. I don't think I would have had half as good a time as I did had I read it only with my eyeballs, because this is him telling his story to you when you listen to the audiobook, because it really is him. So 5 out of 5 stars for this. Definitely a new favorite. The nonfiction's really been slapping lately. Next up, let's talk about Duke I Like to F. So this honestly is horrible. Don't recommend it. It is not worth your money. This cost me $23, I think. I don't recommend it. So there are 5 stories in here, and I can honestly I only enjoyed 2, and even those were like 3 stars. Like, I looked back and I saw I gave My Dirty Duke 3 stars, so I enjoyed it. It didn't move me, and that's kind of my thing with novellas. But some of these were just downright awful. Like, I actually ended up DNFing the last story, which is The Duke Makes Me Feel. I'm not marking this as a DNF on Goodreads. I'm marking this as red because this collection is 515 pages long, and I DNF'd the 5th story 30% in. So yeah, this is red. So let's talk about the 5 stories as a whole. We got The Chasing of Eleanor Vane by Sierra Simone. I said in the last clip, historical romance is not Sierra Simone's lane. She don't need to do that no more. My Dirty Duke by Joanna Shupe, definitely the best in the collection. It's like age gap, my dad's best friend. I liked it. An Education and Pleasure, Eva Lee. It was very corny. The teacher-student dynamic they had going on was cute, but overall it lacked a lot of chemistry, and it just believability. It felt really hollow, and I was very much aware that I was reading a story the whole time. Duke for Hire, Nicola Davidson, the second favorite. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed the dynamic between the characters. That's one where I would have liked a full-length story. And then The Duke Makes Me Feel, the first 4 are all on KU, so I was able to read the ebooks. But Duke Makes Me Feel, I had to pay $3.99 to read it on top of this, because y'all know I can't hold this right now. And it was so, the setup for that one was, we got this girl who's like biracial or whatever, and she runs an apothecary, and in her apothecary she basically makes Viagra juice for men. It's one of the things she got popular for. And this Duke comes in, and his family like became members of the peerage unexpectedly because they were like further down the line, whatever. And he turns out he has like a biracial sister he didn't know about, so he's trying to find her, and the girl is best friends with that girl, and so he enlists her help to find his long lost sister. And it was so bad. I literally just like, I cannot suffer anymore. I can't. I just couldn't do it. DNF that story. But overall, this is not worth your time. It's not worth your money. I think that if you're interested in those 2 stories, My Dirty Duke and Duke for Hire, I think you can read those on KU. Do that, but I do not recommend buying this. I will be unhauling this. Next up, let's talk about Unsold by Will White. I finished this and I gave this 4 stars. I enjoyed this so much. Since finishing this, I have actually read the 2nd book, and I'm 20% into the 3rd book, but we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about this one, because of the 3, or the 2 that I've completed, this is the favorite because I gave the 2nd one 2 stars. But this is just so much fun. Definitely like coming of age fantasy. There's like a competition element. There's like this leveling up, and like the wool being pulled back over your eyes, and like realizing what's really going on in your society. Kind of has like that sort of Kaigen element. But Lyndon is just all of my favorite characters mixed up. He got some Hilo in him, he's got some Darrow, some Fitz, because sometimes he's so stupid, but he's also can be really, really cunning. He's got some Tao in him because he's so determined. Like, no thoughts, head empty, tunnel vision. Okay, really enjoyed this. It's so compulsively read. It was very easy to read. I think if you want some fantasy and that's like not mindless, but like that's easy to get into, it's not super dark and grim. People be dying though, let me tell you, people be dying. Yeah, it's violent and all that, but it's still relatively lighthearted, and the books are very short. Like, they're around the 300-page mark, at least the first 3 that I've attempted so far, and just very easy and compulsively readable. I'm having a really fun time. We've got introduced to more characters, and like every chapter, so like the world gets broader and vaster. And some people might say that they're like reports that are in here are like info dumpy, and sure, let's just say that they are, but I like the way that it's done. So rather than me spending 4 or 5 pages getting the history of the world, it'll just be like, request report, what's the history of the Jai clan, and it'll tell you in 3 paragraphs, and it's like, okay, and it'll give you a certain amount of information. It's like, okay, continue reporting, but like, nope, request denied, and it'll go on. And so everything essential that you need to know, you got it in one little packet, because there's like not an omniscient party, but like almost like an omniscient narrator, not really, but omniscient party. And like in the book, you kind of meet this omniscient party, one of the like gods almost, but that they're not in the story as much as you might think, but you see these little reports because they're watching everything that's going on. But this was really good. It's really interesting. I highly recommend it. I think I might film a standalone review for this, if not this book, then the first 3 books in the series. But yeah, I'm having a really good time. So those are the 3 things that I have finished reading. I just got home from running errands and from the grocery store, so I'm going to show you this week's grocery haul as well as the things that I picked up from the independent bookstore, and then it'll be a minute before you see me again because I'm going to focus on another video for the rest of this week, and then we don't obviously want this video to be too long. It's going to be an hour anyway, we already know that, but we want it to be 2. So I'm going to go to the kitchen and show you what I picked up, and I'll show you the books that I bought as well. Alright, here are the groceries. We're just doing a quick little something. Chicken, frozen vegetables, more frozen vegetables. We got some burritos. We've got some organic tea and lemonade, some water, some pasta, some cheese. Picked up some tulips. Some peppers, some apples, English muffin, couple bananas, a sandwich that I'm about to eat right now as like a snack, some grilled chicken to throw on like a salad or something, some kimchi, some fleshed chicken legs, some avocado oil spray, grapefruit juice, some coconut and almond creamer, Oatly beverage. This just sounded really good. Some Cajun style Alfredo sauce, as well as some cold brew coffee concentrate. Boom. Went back to Solid State this morning and picked up a couple things. So first up, I got Saga Volume 5. Y'all know I'm continuing my slow reread, so I read Volume 4 either earlier this week or last week. And I want to keep going, prepping for Volume 10 this summer, and I'm actually collecting them this go around. I picked up 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khalil Hosseini. This is on my TBR. This is the one where like my patrons get to choose a book and I choose from one of those. Like I put them all in like a jar, pull one out. This was Monique's pick, and so this is I think a pretty sad one, so I'm excited to get to this. And I know it's about this family in Afghanistan and the Taliban and all this like tumultuous time period. And then last but certainly not least, I got My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh. I've heard very interesting things about this book, and y'all know in my lit fic era, so no better time than now. It says, the shocking and strangely tender story of a young woman's efforts to duck the ills of the world with the help of one of the worst psychiatrists in the annals of literature. So I'm excited to get into this one. When I read it, whenever I get around to it, you'll get a more thorough synopsis of that. But yeah, that's the reading update. That's what I finished. That's my grocery haul. I'm gonna go put my food up and like eat something, so you'll see me in a few days. Bye. Hi friends, welcome to Wednesday. It is the 25th of the month. I just got home. It's been a rough day. Yesterday was the whole Texas shooting thing, and you know, going to school today was rough. So after school, I want to get my nails done. They look similar to the last time, but just a little different. And I went to the bookstore and all that, but I have reading updates. We'll go over those first. So we'll start with the bad news. So I started Uprooted last night, and I'm on page 108. I read the first like 60 pages physically, and then I listened to the next 50-60 pages on audio, and unfortunately this is a no for me. Even at the half, like when I first read those first 50 pages, I asked on Twitter, like, does it get better? And most people were like, no. They're like, it's very boring, it's not very good. And this reminded me a lot of two books that I don't like. One, which is The Bear and the Nightingale, which I finished and I gave 2 stars. The other is another book that I DNF'd earlier this month, and that is The Wolf and the Wisdom by Reread. And I'm realizing that these are just elements that I don't like. These weren't one-off situations. I don't like small town pagan magic, coming of age witchy stories. I already don't like witches, but I don't like those elements. Oh wait, let me turn this down. That's why the brightness is weird. I don't like that. I don't like witches at all, and I really don't like this narrative. It reminds me the most of The Bear and the Nightingale, which I really don't like, with like the forest sprites and like the magical woods and all the creatures and stuff, is doing nothing for me. Like, I just couldn't care less. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it physically. And I know the first 100 pages of any fantasy book are typically the slowest part. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try and listen to the audio. Maybe the audio helped me get into it for the atmospheric, whatever. And it just isn't holding my attention, and I'm not enjoying it. And I just, it's enough bad in the world. I don't have to be reading a book I don't like. So that's that. Next reading update is yesterday I also started Attack on Titan volume 1. I'm 25% through volume 1, so I've only read the first chapter. But chapters 1 and 2 are the Fall of Shiganshina arc, which is chapter 1 and 2, episode 1 and 2. So I'm gonna watch that, like read that part first and then continue on, because I'm gonna try and, you know, read it and review it and revive Manga Monday. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, because Monday isn't a typical posting day of mine, and I'm not gonna give up Sunday, and I don't want to cut my views from my Sunday video with a Monday upload, and the manga videos don't do well, so I don't know. I might just still call it, I'm like, can I still call it Manga Monday if I post it on a different day? Should I just come up with another name, even though I love alliteration, you know? I don't know. But Attack on Titan's on this month's TBR, so I'll probably be finishing that today. And then, last but not least, I started Rereading, my reread. This is my reread jar for this month, and I listened to the first part, like the slowest part, on audio, because I was like, when I start reading it physical, I'm like, I want to be in it. So I'm using one of the Fairy Loot tarot cards of my good sir Darrow. And so where I am, I've read the first, I want to say 50 pages, listen to the first 50 pages. And so now where I am, hold on. Actually, I read the first 70 pages, because where I am is when Darrow's about to meet the Carver. So if you read this, you know that whole sequence is such an interesting, fun part. So I stopped the audiobook right there, because I was like, okay, wait, I want to make sure I can read that part with my eyes, because the beginning, when he is, you know, in hell, you know, in the pits and doing the hell diver stuff, and with EO, and when he's trying to win the lore, all that, cool. That ain't what I'm here for. But we're about to get to the good part now, so I'm really excited about that, and I wanted to make sure I was reading that physically. So those are the reading updates. I read the first 100 pages, uprooted, DNF'd it, started Attack on Titan. It's going well, I'm having a good time, and I've started Rereading. And then the nail salon, this is my second time going. I don't know if I'm back, because it's very expensive for no reason. Like a fill-in and a pedicure, it was $130. I'm just like, so that's a bit much, because that's basically what I paid for a full set, and I'm like, I don't, whatever. Anyway, they are 3 blocks away from the Black-owned bookstore, so I took a little gander in there, and I got a couple things, literally a couple things. I had some self-restraint today. So first thing I picked up was The Hanjin Murderers by Seishi Yokomizu. This is a really famous and popular Japanese murder mystery that was only recently translated into English in 2021, I believe. Winter 1937, the village of Okamura is abuzz with excitement over the forthcoming Ichiyanagi wedding. But amid the gossip, there is also a worrying rumor. It seems a sinister masked man has been asking questions around the village. Then, on the night of the wedding, the Ichiyanagi household are woken by a terrible scream, followed by the sound of eerie music. Death has come to Okamura, leaving no trace but a bloody samurai sword thrust into the pristine snow outside the house. That's the cover. Soon, amateur detective Kosuke Kendaichi is on the scene to investigate what will become a legendary murder case. But can the scruffy sleuth solve a seemingly impossible crime? Megan put this on my radar. She read this on a reading blog. I think of reading like translated thriller, I want to say. Thrillers were not that long ago, and so I've seen it a couple times. I finally picked it up. And then I got a new release from an author I've never read from before, but I'm intrigued by this one, and that is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Kweke Emezi. I haven't read from them before, but the first line is really what sold me on this one. Milan was the first person Faye had fucked since the accident. And I said, you know what? It already sounds messy because this girl that started dating the perfect guy and she keeps getting distracted by his father. And I said, all right now. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna read this, and I'll probably read this soon because it's pretty short. It is less than 300 pages, 278. So that's exciting. And then I also got a pen. This is a jelly roll, just a plain jelly roll black pen. So yeah, that's the book haul and the reading update. So I'm gonna shower and try and feed myself, and then I will talk to y'all later when I have another reading update. Bye. Happy Fake Friday, friends. It's Thursday and I'm super excited because it is a 4-day weekend for me. I do not have to go back to work until Tuesday. And to make matters even better, I came home to some packages, and for once I haven't ordered anything, so I'm excited to see what's in them. So let's start with this one. Ooh. Okay, hamstring. I might have to go grab the scissors because y'all know. Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. And then, okay, maybe not that one. Let's try this one. Sometimes I can get them open. Okay. Let me go grab the scissors. If you're new around here, I have arthritis, so my hand strength is non-existent. So, okay, scissors acquired. A Little Fantasy from Zealy Green. It's A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir of Lady Trent. I literally have this out from my library right now. It's a book that I've seen and I've been interested in, but I've never like picked up for myself. And then recently, Angela from Literature Science Alliance like marathon this series, and she had nothing but like great things to say about it. So I'm really excited. It's like this lady who is like chronicling her life as like a dragon historian. I think it's kind of the premise. So I'm really excited to read this one, and the audiobooks are narrated by Kate Redding, who does a lot of the Sanderson stuff. Okay, next up we got this one. So thank you so much, Zealy. I'm gonna get some washi tape to tape that in. Okay. Ooh, this is thick. Hi Bestie, I was thinking of you and couldn't imagine how overwhelming work must be after what happened on Tuesday. Just wanted to send you one of your favorite books and say thank you for all your hard work. Here for you always, from Aiden. Aww, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness. This is Royal Assassin, the second book in the Farseer trilogy, and this is my favorite book in the trilogy. And I originally read these all on ebook, and then I had like the UK paperbacks when I was in Thailand, but I left those there. And then when I got here, I got the illustrated editions, but because all the other ones are in this like this edition, I started collecting these with the ones I hadn't read, but I've been slowly getting these because they've been given to me. Oh, this is so exciting because I've been wanting to reread from the beginning before I continue on, because Fitz is my baby. Wow, I'm so happy. Look at the cover. This one is a little red because you know we got the red ship Raiders. Okay. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we got this one. I think I can open this because it has the pull tab, which I usually can do. A Little Horror from Zealy Green. a little romance. So we got a little fantasy, a little horror, a little romance. Okay. Washington Black. Okay, so which one would this be? Is this isn't horror, is it? I don't think so. So Kayla read this a couple years ago, and it was like one of her favorites that she read that year, and this will put it on my radar. And so this is about 11-year-old George Washington Black, or Wash, a field slave on a Barbados sugar plantation, is initially terrified when he is chosen to be the manservant of his master's brother. To his surprise, however, the eccentric Christopher Wilde turns out to be a naturalist, explorer, inventor, and abolitionist. Soon, Wash is initiated into a world where two people separated by an impossible divide can begin to see each other as human. But when a man is killed and a bounty is placed on Wash's head, they must abandon everything and flee. Spanning the Caribbean to the frozen far north, London to Morocco, Washington Black is a story of self-invention, betrayal of love, redemption, and a world destroyed and made whole again. Doesn't that sound intriguing? And I know it has like a lot to do, I think, with animals as well, because I know like the hardback has like an octopus on the cover. So I'm really, really intrigued by this. Thank you so much. Okay, and then what's this? Would it be romance or would it be horror? Oh, child, it's two things in here. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, okay, I missed a note. A little heart. So we got a little fantasy, a little horror, a little romance, and a little heartbreak. Or a lot if you're anything like me. Anyway, adore your channel, and here's hoping these books will brighten your day and be new favorites. Oh my God. Thank you so much. This is Scarred, A Never After Night by Emily McIntyre. I have I don't know if it's a series or if they're companions, but I have Hooked by the same author, which is like a dark Peter Pan retelling. Once upon a time, there was a king who passed. He left behind two sons, one beloved and one outcast. The older of the two was set to take the throne, but before he could, he had to find a queen to call his own. The younger one was known to be unruly and unhinged. The chosen queen was warned to keep far away from him. Beautiful and cunning, and the light is where she stayed, but late at night it was the Shadowlands in which she played. Mistakes were made and secrets forged, forgetting duty and her sense, and while the new king had her hand, her heart belonged to the scarred prince. This sounds good. What is it supposed to be a retelling of? Is that like The Lion King? I know it's not, but like that's kind of what it sounds like, The Lion King. And then heartbreak, romance. This is supposed to be horror. The next one must be horror. Yes, this is The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. Oh, this is so exciting. And I like this cover so much better than like the other one. Okay, it says, pray that they are hungry. Kara finds the words in the mysterious bunker that she's discovered behind a hole in the wall of her uncle's house. Freshly divorced and living back at home, Kara now becomes obsessed with these cryptic words and starts exploring this peculiar area, only to discover that it holds portals to countless alternate realities. But these places are haunted by creatures that seem to hear thoughts, and the more one fears them, the stronger they become. With her distinctive, delightfully fresh and subversive prose and the strange, sinister wonder found in Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, The Hollow Places is a compelling and white-knuckled horror novel that you won't be able to put down. This is so exciting! I come home to this. Y'all are so freaking sweet. I need to tape all these in. But Aiden, Kara, Zealy, thank y'all so much. Look. This is so sweet. Friends, I am back to close out the vlog, so I'm going to give you my final reading update as well as a little bit of a haul, but I'm going to give you the reading update first. That way if you're not interested in the haul, you can just click away. So I did end up finishing Red Rising a couple of days ago, and I had so much fun with this. I think I'm going to keep that a 4-star. I do think this is the weakest book in the series. I think that beginning part when Daryl is you know, it definitely, those elements in the beginning, when he's still in the mines, that sets up his motivation for the rest of the story. It's something that carries on through the end of the trilogy, those themes and those motivations, but it's just not the best part of the story because the story shifts so drastically, and just goes to space and beyond, basically. So that's not the best of the story, but this was still very good. I had so much fun rereading this. I was just squealing at parts because I'm like, oh my god, we're meeting this character for the first time, and like, this is a character who means X, Y, and Z in the series, or like events that happen. I'm like, you have made an enemy for life in this moment. Situations where I'm just like, wow, you're meeting someone you just don't know. He don't know, but I know. it was just such a good time. It was such a reread, a great reread. I think I'm gonna film a like standalone review for this one because I didn't do that the first time because I ran through it so quickly and I was just like in my zone enjoying it. I may or may not have read a few pages of Golden Sun already, but that's not why we're here. So ultimately, I really enjoyed this. I think that if you like a revenge story, if you like a fast-paced, action-packed sci-fi, I think that if you enjoy like martial sci fantasy, I think you would really enjoy this. Ultimately, I'm really happy with my reread. I'm definitely going to continue on, reread the rest of the trilogy, and then move on to Iron Gold and Dark Age, especially because we're getting closer and closer to information about Lightbringer. I'm thinking early spring 2023. That's what it's feeling like. But yeah, ultimately, I really enjoyed this. So if you made it to the end of this video, we're going to just say leave a red emoji, any type of red emoji. And now I'm going to give you like a book haul and like a little bit of a clothing-esque haul. So if you don't want to see that, you can leave. Alright, so yesterday I ran out and did some errands and I picked up a new phone case. So this is like the Apple MagSafe phone case, and then I got a MagSafe pop socket to go on that, and it makes it so much easier for me to grip my phone. And then I also went to Zara and I picked up two tops. Of course, it's black and white like everything is that I buy. I love a white blouse. There's nothing like a white blouse, okay? So I got this off the shoulder shirt. I tried on a bunch of stuff, but this is like one of my favorite pieces. And this is a bodysuit. Doesn't look like much like this, but it looks really good on. And I got this in a large. And then I got this slinky white blouse bodysuit. But this one is like spaghetti straps. This one, I love a good draping on a blouse. And then I went to Nordstrom. I went to get these Good American jeans that I tried on last time I was there, but they didn't have them in my size. They had the one size down, so I was like, oh, I just gotta order online. But I did find these gorgeous Sam Edelman shoes, so I'll show them to you. They're so pretty. These are definitely gonna be my shoes of the summer, okay? This is the shoe. So yeah, it's a platform clog-like strappy shoe with like a square block heel. Goes with everything, and it has like gunmetal hardware, which I'm cool with because I will still wear this with gold or anything, and just like they're really comfy, so I'm excited about those. And I already hooked it up to my computer because I was streaming this morning, but I bought a webcam so that I can step up like my streaming setup. I'm gonna get a mic next, so I can be real official. And then I also went to the Savage Fenty store. They opened up a store in my area. I'm not gonna show you what I bought because I don't think you want to see my underwear, but they're very cute, very comfy, and I'm happy to have a physical store because I don't like buying lingerie and underwear and pajamas and things like that online. Like, I like to try that on, make sure it fits the way I want it to fit, because I also dislike returning things that I bought online. It's a process that I don't enjoy. Next up, we got the book. So we got some stuff that I was sent, and then a couple things that I bought myself yesterday. So the couple of things that I was sent, the first is from the publisher, and that is A Prayer for the Crown Stripe by Becky Chambers. It's the second book in the Monk and Robot series. I want to say it's a duology, but I could be wrong. And this is a sequel to A Psalm for the Route Built. This one comes out July of this year. This is like cozy, I want to say cozy sci-fi. Because her other books are sci-fi. I haven't read the first one, but I'm excited to get into this one because it's short and sweet, and it's about like this world where robots have like left humanity to go live in the woods on their own, and like the one we follow makes tea. And then it came with a really cute press package. It had like stickers in it, and it also had like some pins, and it's got this letter in here. So I got that. Really excited to get to that one. And then one of my patrons, Aileen, sent me Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is like one of BookTube's favorite books. She read this in like one sitting. She said she really enjoyed it. She thought I would like it. So I'm excited to be reading this one pretty soon, and I definitely will check out this on audio because I've heard that because it's like interview style with full cast, the audio is definitely the way to go. And then I bought myself 3 things. The first is Saga Volume 6. So this is on my June TBR, and you know I'm doing my slow reread, which is very slow, to get ready for the release of Volume 10, which comes out sometime in June or July. And I'm just having a really good time, and I'm collecting them as I go this time because the first time when I read them all on like Scribd or on Libby. And then I picked up 2 books. The first one is the 3rd book in the series that I haven't started, but what's new, and that is The Blind King's Wrath by Ashok K. Banker. This series is so underrated, it's crazy, but I've heard really good things about this from Starla and from Tammy, so I'm excited to get into this one. This is a modern retelling of the Ramayana, I believe, and I'm excited because I have no idea like what it's really about beyond that. I'm not familiar with the epic itself, but I'm excited to read it. And then another one I got is like a grimdark fantasy that I've heard very interesting things about, and it's one that comes up often in like the grimdark conversation, and that is The Darkness That Comes Before by R. Scott Bakker. I'm going to read the synopsis of this to you because I feel like this one might be a little bit more unfamiliar to you. It says, strikingly original in its conception, ambitious in scope, with characters engrossingly and vividly drawn, the first book in R. Scott Bakker's Prince of Nothing series creates a remarkable world from whole cloth. Its language and classes of people, its cities, religions, mysteries, taboos, and rituals, the kind of awe-embracing universe that has thrilled readers of Stephen R. Donaldson and George R. R. Martin. In a world scarred by apocalypse, evoking both our unknown future and our archaic past, until thousands are gathering for a crusade. Traveling among them, 2 men and 2 women are ensnared by a mysterious traveler, Adin Surimbor Kellis, part warrior, part philosopher, part sorceress, and charismatic presence from lands long thought dead. The darkness that comes before is a history of this great holy war, and like all histories, the survivors write its conclusions. Ah! That sounds so good! Okay. So this is the book haul that I bought myself. The other 2 I've already put over there. So thank you all for watching the May reading vlog. I hope you had a good time. Like I said, if you made it to the end of the video, leave a red emoji, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.